Kicking and Screaming is a coming-of-age comedy directed by Noah Baumbach that I came across on Netflix. It was just suggested to me on there, and I actually didn't know it was a Noah Baumbach film until the credits rolled, so that was kind of like a nice surprise at the end. This is his first feature film, and it's very much in his style. I would compare it to his movie Frances Ha, if you've seen that one. Just because it's got a similar subject matter. But I think what's most surprising about this movie is just that it's a lot lighter than the kinds of films that he's best known for, like Marriage Story, for example, or The Squid and the Whale. This is a movie about a group of college students who have just recently graduated, and now that they're done with school, they don't really have many future prospects, and they don't seem to want to move on with their lives. So they more or less decide to stick around at their school, hanging out around campus and doing nothing. They still go to the same bars around town, and they still all live together in the same house. And there's not much else to say about the story than that, really, because it's actually pretty uneventful. Most of the events in this movie play out in a sort of whimsical way, with the main characters only really participating in anything when they actually have to. They do have a lot of conversations about maybe doing things with their lives, like getting a job or maybe enrolling in a 5th year at their school. But for the most part, that's where it ends. And it seems that whenever they feel any inner conflict about their lack of forward movement in life, they find any reason they can not to act on it. I really enjoyed this film, and I found it inspiring in a lot of ways, because it made me think that, if I ever want to write a story of my own, maybe I should just write a coming-of-age story, because it just seems to me like, how could you possibly go wrong? There's just so much material you can work with. And I also found this movie to be pretty life-affirming too, because it kind of reminds me that not a lot has to happen during our development in order for that time in our lives to feel kind of magical. Not a lot happened for me during that time, and I think this may be one of the few coming-of-age movies that I've seen where, there's no major drama, and the characters are not really rebelling or anything like that. They're really just wasting their time. I have some mixed feelings about how the dialogue is written, because the characters can be irritatingly witty at times, and also sometimes they talk so fast that it can be difficult to process everything they're saying. So I may even recommend turning on subtitles if you want to be able to catch everything. But on the other hand, I also felt that the dialogue was kind of the best part of the movie, because despite the things I just said, none of that takes away from the fact that these characters are incredibly charming. And some of the things they say are just so brilliant that it became easy for me to forgive any of my reservations about the writing. And really, I think this is what's at the heart of the movie. I felt that the plot was more of a secondary character, and it was really the dialogue that kept things exciting for me. My experiences in early adulthood were not much like the events in this movie. I was more the type to isolate myself, and I didn't really have a college experience like you see in this story. And so I would say Kicking and Screaming kind of gives me a window into something that I feel I missed out on, but not in a sad way exactly. Because sometimes I'll watch a movie like this and it will genuinely make me feel depressed, because it will make me wish that I could relive my youth and do things differently. But with Kicking and Screaming, it's just not like that. It did make me feel a little bit envious, just in the sense that I wish I could be that carefree again. But I think overall, the movie just didn't seem real enough to me, and so I couldn't actually place myself in it, if you know what I mean. And maybe part of that is just because this movie's kind of outdated now. Or maybe it's because the dialogue is just a little bit too fantastical And to me, it kind of just made the whole movie feel a little bit more, or a little bit artificial, you know? But either way, I really appreciate that I can just watch this and it doesn't make me doubt my past self, and it doesn't make me doubt the decisions that I made in my youth, you know? I really love that I can just watch this and enjoy the fantasy of it.